you want to sing in this talents part or not?
Yeah.
I want to sing.
Yeah.
The song's really complicated, just so you know.
What song is it?
One? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make a W sound like wah 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 wah.
Wah, 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 wah.
And now this. And now a pa.
So yesterday was Tessie's team meeting, and I meant to talk about it yesterday, but the day was crazy. Basically, the day was busy. Basically, in the morning, I had the team meeting, and then Paul had to go to work, of course. And Paul owns his own business, so basically works his caseload, which keeps him really busy. And I knew that since he helped me out so much this week with doctor's appointments, because we had a lot of doctor's appointments, it meant that he was going to be working all weekend, and along with working all week in between all of the doctor's appointments and working as much as he possibly could there. So we had all of that going on. So there was the doctor's appointment, Paul went to work, I loaded up the 4 kids that we had, which were sick, and who I really didn't want to take out of the house, but I didn't really have a choice. Because the medical supply company called, and they had called the day before, and they needed me to only have James's little sleep study oximeter machine for 24 hours. They needed it back the next day. So I needed to take all the kids, all 4 kids, into the medical supplies company storefront to return that. And anyway, they needed a download from Tessie's apnea monitor that they were supposed to have like on Monday. Actually, they were supposed to have it last Friday. They were supposed to have it a week ago. The pulmonologist had wanted it last Friday. And so I was supposed to take it on Monday. And then it was just like the craziness of all week. So she called me on Thursday. I promised I would call me to remind me on Thursday. I promised I would bring it in when I brought in James's little oximeter. So we went into the medical supply company with all of the kids. It was like we were just a mess. I mean, Sadie just looks so sick with her pink eye, and I thought yesterday that it was looking better. I was going to call the doctor yesterday if it wasn't looking better yesterday. And of course yesterday she looked like she was looking much better all day long. And then this morning she wakes up and her other eye looks puffy. I'm like, can you look at me please? And this eye, the one eye that was bad is looking better, and her other eye is looking pink and puffy now. So it's, she just has to be like prone to pink eye somehow, because this is like the 4th time she's had it since she started. And none of the other kids get it, she just gets it. We went to the medical supplies company and managed to dodge all the potholes that are around it. One of them was like down to brick on the street. You could see like the old street below the blacktop. Look at this road. It's really bad. But look at the pothole up here on the left-hand side. There's gonna be a pothole, and it was totally underneath it. You can see where it had been a brick street at some point in some century previous. And you could see the brick street, which actually appeared to be in better shape than the blacktop street above it. Michigan, do something about your roads, please. And then we made it back up. We drove all the way up to the hospital. And when we got to the hospital, I was waiting there for Paul. And then I got a call from Paul, which was like the worst call. Not the worst call. Okay, there are a million calls that could have been worse, but it felt pretty bad in the moment. Paul, there had been a miscommunication. Usually when there's a doctor's appointment, because I don't want him to have to leave work too early, we meet at the doctor's appointment. He thought that And I thought that especially because Maggie was at therapy, and I thought he was going to pick Maggie up at therapy after work. He thought that I wanted him to come home, and we live about 30 miles away. So he had driven 30 miles home, and when he got home, he realized we weren't there. And we were 30 miles away at the doctor's appointment near his office. So he turned around and drove back and got there just before my doctor's appointment, and I raced inside, and he took the kids to get shakes, and I went inside for my doctor's appointment. And this is a new doctor that I'm just starting to see, and she's ordered a ton of tests, including like she's going to do a biopsy when I see her next. And the good thing was she's a resident, she's super enthusiastic, and was like, we're gonna find out what's going on. The discouraging thing was that she wasn't a doctor that was like able to read was able to read the radiology report or understand it. She was like, basically the only way I'm able to understand this was that the radiologist said that the test was normal of your gallbladder. It said that I had a HIDA gallbladder fraction ejection rating, I don't know if I said that right, of 67. Which when I Googled, I know I shouldn't do that. Some of the things said that that was normal, and some of it, which is what the radiologist said, I know. But a lot of the things that came up said that that could be high too, and that having a high ejection rating could cause pain like gallstones. So I'm just gonna wait until I see my doctor, because it does still really hurt. I have all the symptoms, like it hurts when I eat. I mean, at this point, I've lost 16 pounds since January without, I was trying to lose weight. I will admit, I was trying to lose weight, and I was losing 4 pounds a month. It wasn't like I had drastic weight loss from June to December. I was trying to lose weight. But when all this started, and I started getting sick, it was no longer really like, I mean, through January even, it was like, oh, this is kind of nice, because I was like less sick, and like being mildly sick through January was like helping with my weight loss. And yeah, that was kind of nice. That was probably why I didn't call my doctor till the end of January, was because it was like I was starting to get sick. I wasn't that sick. And then as February started, it was like, okay, this is starting to get a little bit scary. And that's when I started calling my doctor, and no longer was trying to lose weight, because it was like, yeah, don't really have to try anymore. This is kind of spiraling out of control. I mean, now that I'm losing like 5 pounds a week, because I can't eat, because I had like 4 bites of yogurt yesterday, and it made me really, really sick. And I'm lucky if I manage like 800 calories a day, because that makes me really, really, really sick. Sorry. I don't want this place to be like, I want it to be happy and like fun posts, not like me whining about how I'm sick. That's not what this is gonna be. That is, I promise you, that's not what this is gonna be. I'm probably gonna like dice most of this out, edit most of it out. Anyways, I just like want to find out what's going on. So, but I had that doctor's appointment, met with a new doctor. She ordered more ultrasounds of different body parts, which I'm not really super expecting. I'm not expecting them to find anything either with the biopsy or with the ultrasounds that she ordered, but I am going to be calling my doctor on Monday to see like what's next with whatever this whole extreme pain is, what we're doing. I didn't cry this time though. When she said like the gallbladder test was totally normal with this step, I didn't like burst into tears and sob in the office, so that was nice. I'm doing pretty good because I haven't eaten today. As long as I like don't eat, it only feels like, you know what it feels like? As long as I don't eat anything, as long as I haven't eaten anything in more than 18 hours, it just feels like my ribs are bruised. It feels like, because in college I did like I'm a black belt in karate, and I did tournament fighting, and I had a lot of bruised ribs. It feels like my ribs are bruised. It feels like someone punched me all from here. Stand up. It feels like I've been punched from here all around here, like multiple times, really, really hard, especially here and in my shoulder blade and in my back. I feel like I've been beaten up all the time. And as long as I don't like eat anything, it's not worse than that. I feel pretty good. I feel like nauseous if I walk. Don't eat anything, I feel like I can function. It's just once I get hungry enough that I have to eat that things go really, really bad. And that's why like I look like I'm sick, because I don't eat until I have to, until I'm like so hungry that I break down and eat, and then anyways, how did I get so sidetracked? The whole point of this video was Tessie's appointment. So that was yesterday. Tessie, good job putting in. Good job. You're doing so good. So you're just going upstairs to have a little timeout for being mean to his sister. I'm by myself at Tessie's therapy center, and we are meeting with her team, which right now her team's really small. I mean, I think her team is basically like her BCBA and a social worker, and I'm thinking maybe the operations officer is going to be there too, like from that runs the center. But I don't think there's anyone else on her team. Like in the future, I'm sure she'll have like an OT and a speech therapist. Like with Maggie, these meetings would be bigger. Maggie has like a yearly meeting where we meet with her people. But for Tessie, I'm thinking it's going to be really small, and she and Maggie actually have like the same social worker and the same BCBA and actually the same operations officer who runs the place. So it's pretty much all people I know. So the team meeting was like the person that did Tessie's testing, and Tessie's BCBA, who's Maggie's BCBA, and Tessie's social worker, and we sat down and I put in a request for the social worker to put in a request to Tessie's doctor for OT and speech, which she is doing, and we'll see. Because when we did that with Maggie, the social worker put in the request and the nurse didn't like talk to the doctor at all, and just like, and called me and was like, we've got a request for OT from the social worker, and you can't just request OT, you have to bring her in. And I was like, open the file, look at her file, look at her chart. And she's like, you have to bring her in. I was like, look at her chart, look at her chart. And she argued with me, and finally she looked at her chart and was like, oh. Because I mean, we'd been in, like, I mean, obviously we'd been in a lot, and like, autistic. She was like scoring like the 0.5 percentile of functioning. Like, I knew that her doctor would sign off on her having a referral for OT. She was seeing her constantly. I knew that her doctor would do it, and she did. When she went and talked to the doctor was like, oh yeah, this kid needs OT. So I'm hoping that we can get the OT and speech referral from her doctor, who I know will send it in if someone asks them, without an extra doctor's appointment just for that. I mean, if we have to go in for the doctor's appointment, I'll do it, but I would rather not have extra doctor's appointments that are superfluous without when we don't need them at this point in time. But yeah, it was good, because one of the things we talked about a lot at the meeting was how we're starting so early with Tessie's therapy that a lot of the things that we're going to be working on are things that are like still developmentally appropriate. Like a lot of the behaviors she has are behaviors of children with autism, but how it's not like they're super abnormal behaviors yet. And I mean, clearly Tessie has autism, but the things that we're working on, that they are going to be working on with her, are still going to be... Hey guys, if you're going to be wild, could you be wild in the other room or downstairs in the playroom, please? But a lot of the things that they're going to be working with her on are things that neurotypical 2-year-olds or almost 2-year-olds also are working on, and that's pretty great. Instead of her being like way behind, which I mean she is behind in a lot of ways. Like obviously in her speech she's way behind, in like her social skills those aren't typical. I mean that's why she has a diagnosis. She's scoring at the 3-month and 4-month level in a lot of different areas, but she's starting so early that a lot of the skills she's going to be learning are skills that other kids are going to be learning that are her age. So that's pretty cool. So it was a good meeting and we got all that squared away, and she is starting next week. We still don't have her exact schedule hammered out, but they're going to get that to me. Or she's starting on the 15th. What is today's the 10th? So she's starting, I don't know actually if it's the 15th, the week of the 15th. So she's starting pretty soon. So that's what's going on here. That is what is going on here. And I am hoping we figure this out soon. I'm still kind of hoping that it's going to be, I'm hoping that Google is right and that it's going to say that it's the high ejection fraction rating, and my doctor is going to say that it's, if they take out my gallbladder, it's going to fix this. I just want it to be easy. I just want it to be done. I just want to be like able to eat food. I mean, at this point I would be happy just to be able to eat like chicken and vegetables, because anything, I'd be happy to eat anything. So that is it. Hopefully I have more good updates soon. Paul sent in his saliva kit for the genetic testing, so that is all on its way, and I think that's like all of the updates on all of the things. Oh, I got a call from the ENT office and it's scheduled, so James is seeing an ENT, but I'm really hoping that the mini sleep study was good, and that I'm really hoping he's not going to need his tonsils out. That's the dream. That would be nice. Yeah. So that's the latest. That's like a million mini updates plus our day plus everything that's been going on around here. And I promise the next one is going to be more fun. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this before or after the thing that I'm kind of been filming at the same time, which is all of the going to Once Upon a Child and all of the Easter clothes, but I promise more fun and upbeat soon, no matter what the gallbladder does, no matter whatever else this is. More fun soon. But yeah.